Everybody always says, "You sound fake."
Like,
Like, that's just how I talk. I don't understand. Okay, here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Franklin and Douglas, where we talk about current events and give you bad advice. I'm Franklin, and with me, as always, is my buddy Douglas. Double D, how's it going?
buddy, it's one jazz hand up. Great today.
That's great.
I'm
Great.
super. Thanks for asking.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I like the hair. What's going on with the colors there? I like that.
There is no colors right now. I need to
Why
decide on the next color.
don't you just go back to your natural color? Okay.
This is my natural color.
No, it's not. It's not your natural color.
Speaking of natural, how's it going, buddy? Like, how's the week
Oh,
going?
it is. It's going. The week is weeking.
Yeah.
It's going. We had some crazy thunder showers going on this week.
Mm.
Winds and down power lines. It was crazy.
Oh,
So
jeez.
hopefully, Mother Nature is okay. But otherwise, it's been pretty good. I got to go on I guess a test drive. My VP came out and he has a Tesla Cybertruck.
Oh,
So,
I hope you brought a
so
fire extinguisher on this test drive.
so he let me drive it, and it was cool. It was like it's very bulky outside. Inside is really small. I
Hmm.
didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. But I mean, it is what it is. I got to drive a Cybertruck.
And do you feel
Um,
more enriched in your life since driving this truck?
I do. I feel like,
Excellent.
I can run the country. I can, change policies. I can cut people's social security. So,
Excellent.
yeah. Yeah. I called Donnie and let him know, what was going on. He liked my ideas. So, yeah, here we go.
Excellent.
Oh my gosh. So, how was your week?
Oh, my week was action packed. Um,
Mm.
yesterday actually we went on a little like in Ohio, I guess we have wineries or grapes that grow like well for like ice wine and like those really sweet wines.
Oh,
So
okay.
we did a little like
Like me some sweet wine.
right, sweet just like you. So it's like a little trail what like when we went to wine country out in
Hmm.
California, you
Hmm.
just kind of hit like each winery along like one road, what have you. It's kind of how this
Okay.
was, but you can only drink so many sweet wines at a point where you like start getting headaches.
Did you drink some cherry wine?
I wish. No, I had like a cherry bourbon ice wine, which was
Oh,
pretty good.
okay. All
Yes.
right.
But I always think of what was his name that sang that song? But yeah, the cherry wine song. We don't have to take our clothes off.
Drink some cherry wine.
Uh-huh. But yeah, other than that, I mean, same thing here. Like our weather's a little crazy. We were almost at 80 degrees yesterday,
What?
and
Shut the
now,
front door.
yeah, and we're gonna hit like 40 in 2 days. So
Up and down, up
yeah,
and down.
my
That's crazy.
sinuses, like they're just
Hmm.
hurting. So
Right. I have alerts for the pollen
oh
count for
yeah,
the day. And it was crazy. This past, I was like, well, it just, the rain washed it away, right? They're like, no, as soon as that sun pops out, bloop.
the
So
trees are just
my,
shooting their shot all over
right,
everything.
my throat, my eyes, everything. It's just been crazy. So
uh
yeah, right.
well,
Um,
speaking of crazy, what do you got for us this week?
Oh, well, yeah. So we're gonna travel back to Connecticut.
Mm.
We've Connecticut's got a lot going on out there. They have that cannibal out there, and
Oh
now,
yeah.
now, we have a stepmom who held her son captive, her stepson captive for over 20 years.
What?
Right. So a Connecticut woman has been arrested for allegedly holding her severely emancipated Am I saying that right?
I think
Cap,
emaciated. Yeah.
emaciated. Well, she held him, okay,
Right.
for over 20 years since he was 11 years old and
What?
forcing him to endure prolonged abuse, starvation, severe neglect, and inhumane treatment, police said. So it's truly horrifying. And this is coming from the Waterbury mayor, okay? It's truly horrifying and beyond comprehension what occurred here. The young man's imaginable suffering for over the course of 2 decades is just a reminder of the darkness that does exist in our world.
Mm.
So now this guy is, they haven't divulged his name or a picture of him or anything like that. So he is 32 now.
Wow.
He's 5'9" and he weighed 68 pounds,
Girl.
right? So it was discovered on February 17th. The fire department had responded to an active fire at the residence. And so when they got in, they found the 56-year-old mother, Kimberly Sullivan, okay, the owner of the property, who called for help. She called 911 for the help,
Mhm.
and then identified the second person living there, which was a 32-year-old man, and found to be her stepson. Right
Mhm.
now, they were all evacuated to safety, and he apparently laid on the floor so that the police and the fire department could get him out. And they were just like, when they looked at him, they were like, okay, something appears to be wrong here. Okay. And so investigators quickly realized that there was a room in the house that had appeared to have exterior locks on the door. And then when they began to speak to him, the male victim disclosed he had been held captive in the house for about 20 years.
Wow.
How do you get, I don't even know how this even begins, but while receiving medical care, the male victim disclosed to the responders that he had initially set the fire in his upstairs room, stating, "I wanted my freedom." Officials said that in his statement regarding the case. He further alleged that he had been held captive by Sullivan for since he is approximately 11 years old. All right. And I'm like, has nobody been looking for this guy?
Right.
And so as we go on into the story, apparently his father passed away last year. And so now she is trying to say that it was his father that did the whole thing. But now people are coming out, well, okay, since his father died, why didn't you let the boy out?
Right.
Now man, let him out. And so it's just been, going on for this entire time. So um, investigators further disclosed that he had been provided with minimal food, water. Apparently, she would only give him 2 sandwiches a day while holding him. So obviously, I can only imagine what this man looks like. And so, so she appeared in court. She would lock him in his room. She did not restrain him in any way, and provided him, these sandwiches, and that was about it. So the exterior locks, they didn't show pictures of the exterior locks of what the room looked like. And I would assume that, you know, you can't bang on the door, you can't yell, you can't scream. Was the room soundproof? There's neighbors.
Right.
I don't understand. I'm still trying to understand how this went on for 20 years and no one could see what was going on. And, she's going in and out the house doing her thing, and he's just locked in a room. But he wasn't restrained in any way. So,
Mhm.
okay, 11 years old, you still have a little fight in you, right?
Yeah.
When he got put in there and his father was still alive, it's just a lot that was going on, and I still have a lot of questions about how all of this came to pass. And so the first request from the Department of Children and Families to do a welfare check, when they were again looking back on him about 2005, they went to the house. Officers went to the house and saw that it was clean, and they spoke to the victim. But at that point in time, he was no cause for harm or alarm or any conditions that have led the officers to believe that anything abnormal was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so this continues, obviously. And went on to explain that reports of abuse are typically, they go on and no one is really doing anything about it. They go on and check and, oh, okay, he looks fine. No one's saying anything. But again, kids are, or people that are held like this, maybe they are threatened and you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And he could have been threatened. It's like, if you say anything, this is going to happen or that's going to happen.
Right.
But for 20 years, this child who is now a man endured this horrific, pain and suffering, being locked in this room on a daily basis, getting 2 sandwiches. What the hell is going on in Connecticut? You know?
Yeah.
So, so again, she's out on bond, and I don't know where they took the young man, but I'm assuming he's still in the hospital, obviously receiving care.
Mm-hmm.
But this story, I'm going to continue to follow it. But this story it's crazy that he was put in this situation, and somehow or another she got out on bond for like $300,000. And so, she was able to get out, and she's refused to talk to the police and whatnot. But this is going to obviously continue on, and we still need to get the side of the story of the young man. And she is now claiming that it was his father who put him in this situation, and I guess, what do they call it, Stockholm. So she was doing the same thing, and
Mm-hmm.
she was just going on about her life. But 20 years. Could you imagine being locked up in a room for 20 years? I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
lock myself in my room just for for my own
Right.
health.
But you
But
can still leave when
you
you
can
want to.
leave,
Yeah.
okay, when you want to. This man was held against his will for
Right.
20 years, from being 11 years old. And my thing is like, okay, so the kids, in the neighborhood or his school, no one was looking for him. He just disappeared from school one day and never came back.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. Like, doesn't the school, and I think I saw the school did like put in one of the first welfare checks, and
Mm-hmm.
apparently the family filed a complaint that they were being harassed by the school. So I guess
Right.
there's ways around it, but yeah, there was something broken in the system there. Where
Right. Right.
was it law enforcement? Was it the school? Was it child protective services? Like, at what point did this kid like fall through the cracks where everyone's like, well, not much we
Okay.
could do at this point, you know?
Okay. I guess Billy's not coming back.
Right,
Yeah. It was it's extremely sad. To even 68 pounds. That's a child.
right.
That's what he weighed probably when he was 11.
Well, and you
And
you think too, like he's been locked up for 20 years and now he is like free at 32. He has like no job skills, probably no education,
mm-hmm.
depending like whatever like this stepmother and father gave him. But how is he even going to get reacclimated back into the world at this
Right.
point, you know? Like he
Yeah. Yeah.
no social skills, like nothing. Like
Mm-hmm. He has
like
nothing.
his life is kind of I don't want to sound grim, but he has like a long road ahead of him still just to if he
Right.
wants to get reacclimated back into society.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that, or at least hopefully, obviously his health, they've got to get him. He's got weight to gain.
Oh yeah.
He's got, so health wise, he has a long journey to go to getting even healthy, and being able to probably stand and do things that he should be able to do as a grown man and everything. So it would be, hopefully he will be able to get back to where he needs to be, and hopefully the Connecticut or the state or whoever is able to help him, you know, just regain his life, after all this time. And so she's being charged obviously with kidnapping, unlawful restraint, cruelty to persons, and reckless endangerment. So this is going to be something that is going to continue to go on and on. And like I said, she's blaming the husband, and but the husband is obviously no longer with us
Like you
to
said, for a year, the husband's dead,
hmm
and you're just like, well, I'll just keep it up, I guess,
just keep it up.
in his
Yeah,
memory.
it is what it is. Exactly, it is what it is. So there's no need of letting you out now.
Well, and that's the
You're
thing. Like, people are probably like, "How's this grown man like stuck in a house with a stepmother?" He was only 68 pounds. He probably could barely like do anything.
yeah, he can barely move at
Yeah.
this point. But I guess my thing is, and again, we obviously are not professionals,
No.
but it's like I think about the kids today, and I think about how maybe we were as young, at that age, and what we could have been. I mean, I was fighting.
Right.
I'm like, would never allow something like that to happen. But again, you just don't know the mind state of people, and we don't want to assume and
Right.
to say that, well, you could have did this, and you weren't put in that position to
Right.
know what you could have done. I can only feel, I can only say what I think I would have done in that in that situation. But again, we don't know, was he drugged to be there or whatnot. So uh but yeah, still again, crazy. When I first saw this, I was like, this can't be true. It can't be. But it was. It really was. And
Right.
so hopefully everything works out for him and he gets himself back to where he needs to be. And this is, I mean, his life now going forward for the next 30 plus years, hopefully he can get himself back together. Who knows what's going to happen to dear stepmom, mommy
I
dearest.
I just saw a picture of her at court. Did you see her court appearance picture?
Oh yeah, she's beautiful. She's stunning.
Her eyeliner is
Her
crazy.
eyeliner. Whoo!
She's got like
Did you see?
one random line just going up the middle of her eyelid. It's like girl was in the car driving over some potholes, just getting ready for court.
Oh my god, that's great.
And like, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, yeah, guilty. No, that eyeliner screams guilty.
Exactly. Oh my god. So okay, so let's move on to something a little bit more, I guess, entertaining for you.
Oh,
Do you sleep with the TV on or off?
I purposely do not have a TV in my bedroom, so I don't get distracted by it. So no
There.
TV.
Okay. I'm one of those people that used to have a TV, and I pulled my TV out of my room as well.
Mm.
But I read an article where it says people who need to have the TV on to fall asleep at night usually display these 7 behaviors according to psychology.
Oh.
Right? And I kind of like, yeah, that's actually true.
Mm.
And here it is. It's like one, I would usually fall asleep to a TV show, mostly the Golden Girls.
Yes. Oh, yep.
Okay. Or Will and Grace or something, just funny in the background. I've also have like watched cartoons, Bugs
Yes.
Bunny cartoons, and I would fall asleep to that. But one, they find comfort in the background noise.
Mm.
Okay. Some people, obviously like silence, but some like to have something going on in the background.
Hmm.
I mean, I sleep with a fan on, so I like that
Yes.
sound,
Yes. Yep.
and so just that little background noise. They struggle to turn their minds off at night.
Hmm.
And yeah, sometimes when you're laying down and you're it's quiet, and then all of a sudden you just like all this stuff starts going through your head about
Hmm.
what you did. Did I do this? Did I do that? Oh my God, did I? All this stuff starts going through your mind, and you seem to turn it off. And so I try to meditate before I go to sleep to just try to clean all that out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but
Yeah.
that's what it is. It's like you struggle to turn it off. And then they don't like to be alone with their thoughts. I know my thoughts scare people and scare myself.
Clarice.
Okay. So they don't like to be alone with their thoughts. And they associate the TV with feelings of safety. It's
Hmm.
like a warm blanket.
I mean,
uh,
wow, that's
what
I don't know how I feel
it's
about
the back
that.
it's the background noise, it's the
Hmm.
background the noise, it's the comfort, it's you can this feeling well. It's yeah, it's like again, to hear Dorothy and and Rue in the background.
I'll say Rose telling you Saint Olaf's story to sleep.
Exactly before you fall asleep. And yeah, it's just comforting. Okay. And then some, they actually sleep better with noise.
Hmm.
Now, again, like I said, I have a fan on,
Right.
and I like that humming noise or that fan noise
Hmm.
that it makes. And so, yeah, it's a strange feeling, right? But most people assume that silence is the best condition for deep sleep. But for some, a little background noises actually helps them rest more soundly. So, I know that's for me. I've tried to turn everything off, and to me, it's a weird feeling. I'm like, no, don't like it. Don't
Yeah.
like that sound.
Yeah.
um, and then this again, they may have learned this from childhood. And I honestly, and when I think back all those many moons ago, you know, did I sleep with anything on? Was it quiet? I don't remember honestly.
Hmm.
It is I don't for me it wasn't something like that. I do believe it was like we had noises going on in the house and everything like that, but I don't recall. Do you have anything that you remember as a kid?
Yeah, I mean, well, like you, I'm in the same boat. Like I sleep with a fan on, and it's not necessarily to keep me cool. I think it's more
Hmm.
just for the noise. Like, yeah, in the summer,
Right.
sure to keep me cool, but even the winter, it's still on. And I think it's weird for me to try to fall asleep when it's just dead silent.
Hmm.
Same thing.
Right.
Like
Right.
my mind starts taking over, and like I start like overthinking, which I have
Right.
medication for that now. But, going back to childhood, like, my parents always slept with the fan on. My father
Hmm.
would fall asleep watching TV. So I do feel like some of that might have been learned, like, "Oh, this is normal,"
Yeah.
and
Now
then
that
you
I
just
think
get
about
used to
it,
it.
my mother did have her TV on
Mhm.
when we were kids, and would sleep with the TV on. Now that I remember that when I would try to sneak out of my room because her room was right down the hall.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's, I think she's still up because the TV is on.
That's what she was doing on purpose.
I know, huh? I'm gonna catch her.
I'll say, and there was a point there where I would play music to fall asleep to and like just set a timer. And that was short lived as well. But I think that's kind of the same boat as like the TV thing. Like there's still like noise in the background, people talking kind of thing. And yeah, I can
Right,
see it being
right,
comforting. Sure.
right. And then finally, they use it as an escape. Sometimes the TV just it isn't just background noise. It is a way to mentally check out for a while. So that's you have nights with thoughts of feeling overwhelmed
Hmm.
and like you stress and anxiety, and so possibly it's that time to just escape. And so turning on something in the background, be it a TV, music, or a fan, is our escape to that kind of thing. So I found that extremely interesting, and I was like, I wonder if our viewers, our listeners, have done the same exact thing. If they keep something on in the background,
Yeah.
would be awesome to know in that for us. So if you do sleep with the TV or anything on, let us know and what you're watching and what you're listening.
Yeah. What are you falling asleep to? Is it the Golden
Hannibal
Girls?
Lecter poems.
Yeah. The Saw horror movie series? Like,
Oh my God.
oh,
So,
yeah, I couldn't. I'd have nightmares all night.
oh, that's great. So, what advice do you have with maybe with that or anything else? What do you have for us?
Yeah. So, as always, we want to remind our audience that we are not trained professionals and our
No,
advice
we are
should
not.
not be taken seriously.
Never.
But what qualifications do we have?
Well, if we survived the Castros two for one night and didn't get kidnapped by that man in a van who said he'd keep the TV on for us,
Yeah.
we can survive anything and we can lead you through life's challenges. Hit me with it.
So, today we're going to be pulling our questions for Reddit's advice in the Am I the Asshole category.
You are.
Thanks. If you would like us to answer your request for advice, please DM us on our socials or comment. See,
Damos. Damos. Mm-hmm.
I got the TV on the mind. Maybe your question will appear on our next episode.
Okay.
So, since you are such an aficionado or expert on workplace affairs, I thought this would be a great one for Franklin. So it's titled "My Boss is Having an Affair." Goes on to say, "My boss is having an affair with someone else at work. The whole office knows. She's married, he's not. They'll go into each other's office and spend a ridiculous amount of time together and leave looking giddy and flustered. Mm, steamy.
Mm.
So now here's the kicker and dilemma. Her husband regularly comes into the workplace, minimum once a week to take her out for lunch or pick her up, etc. I feel terrible having small talk looking into his eyes when I know what's going on. Should I say something? Is it my place to say something? I'm scared of the consequences that would probably result in me getting fired, but feel guilty, very guilty. What advice would you give this poor soul?
First of all, mind your business. It's not your place. That's not your friend. That's your work friend or your work, it's not your business. Keep out of it. And don't talk to him. You know he's coming. Go the other way. Text her, hey, your husband's here. No, it's none of your business. Now I could see if it was, a good friend, you're a friend of 30, 40 years and you find out your husband or your wife is cheating or you saw him, then I think maybe, yeah. But no, that's your work colleague. Who cares? You know? Um, or you could use it to your advantage. If that's your boss, hey, I'm looking to increase my income. How can we do that?
Yes.
You know? Make it something for you. Um, but other than that, I wouldn't say anything. It's none of my business. I'm going home. I don't care what y'all do. But I would make it be a benefit for me. You know, I need a bonus. I need extra. I need a couple of extra days off, whatnot. And if it's a no, oh hey Billy, guess what? Guess what Kathy's doing?
That's what I'm saying. Get that cushy parking spot, get
Mhm.
that extra space in the refrigerator that's been taken up by tubs of butter. Like,
Ugh, those tubs of butter. Yes, but yeah. Other than that, I would make it benefit myself, but I'd stay out of it.
listen, I think I would get the husband's information or his phone number and like figure out like be like, hey, today is like her work anniversary when it's like a hookup day. And be like,
Ooh,
it's her work anniversary. You should come bring some balloons or something. And then when he comes in,
ooh.
be like, oh, let me take you over to I think she's in the boss's office. She's gonna love this. And then just open up the door and they're gonna
There
be
they
all
are,
flustered.
flustered, out of breath.
Yeah.
That's
Be
crazy.
like, oh, I'm so shocked.
We were just celebrating ourselves.
That way, you're not really making it known that you're tattling. It was just a harmless mistake.
We've worked together for 20 years. You know when my anniversary is. Wow.
All
Well,
right.
yeah, stay
Well,
out of it.
yeah, I agree. Like, it's not, only bad's going to come of it. Like, and it's not like you're friends with the husband either. Like, just whatever. So, moving on. This one is from the Am I the Asshole category. And they are saying, or they titled this, Am I the Asshole for asking my friend to bring her own food when she asks to come over? So, my friend has a pretty big appetite. And when she comes over, she frequently eats many of my groceries. I'm on a limited budget and I cannot afford to feed her appetite. When she comes over, she will typically eat $40 to $60 worth of groceries. And with inflation, it's not that much. So I'm all for feeding. Yeah, I'm all for feeding my guests refreshments and providing snacks and meals. And I only invite my friends over when I'm in the financial position to host. The friend in question asks me almost weekly if she can come over. She usually says she's having a hard time and needs a friend. I'm always hesitant to have her over because of the amount of my groceries she helps herself to. If I have a full multi pack of food, she will leave me with one or two, in addition to having whatever else she finds in my fridge or pantry. I recently addressed my concern with her and told her that if I invite her over, I plan on providing snacks, meals. However, if she asks to come over, she needs to provide her own food. She did not take this well and felt I was shaming her eating habits. She does have a tendency to find comfort in food and often struggles with overeating, and pointed out that I didn't have this rule for my other friends, to which I tried to explain was because they never ate so much that I felt the need to implement any kind of rules or restrictions.
Oh,
She said that I was an asshole for shaming her biggest insecurity and for singling her out by creating rules for her that I don't have with other friends. I knew she struggled with food, but still asked if she could supply her own snacks and meals when she has to come over. Am I the asshole?
that's yeah, you are the asshole. I
What?
think that okay. Well, first of all, she needs to figure out is her friend struggling with food? We know she overeats, right?
Right.
But does she have food of her own? I mean, have you been over to her place? Does she have a place? Is she homeless? Does she have food? And maybe, she comes over that for that reason. And then secondly, if you know that is her insecurity, then that's where you need to help her and figure out what is triggering this. Now, to tell her to set rules, that's kind of steep. And then let them know that you don't set it for the other friends. Ooh, I think that one, it is you when you go over to people's houses. I know when I go over to have come over to your place, I ask,
Right.
I'm about to sit there and just have a, eat all your food.
Right.
That is inconsiderate and rude. You were having a party and you put out everything, and it's even like when you're taking stuff home, you ask, or the host is like, "Hey, does anybody want to take some extra stuff home?" You just don't start packing away your Tupperware. That's kind of like disrespectful and rude. But just to go over and eat all the snack packs, yeah, both of them have some things that they need to work on and to discuss. But I think the friend that is overeating has a lot more going on, and as my friend, I would figure out what that is. What's triggering um, her to do this. Y- Yeah, that's kind of crazy. But
Yeah.
put a yeah, just to basically let her know, bring your own food.
Listen, if Big Back Betty wants to come over to my house every week and she is making a Shaggy and Scooby Doo meal every time that she comes over, like she walks on my fridge like a whole turkey, whole ham sandwich,
Okay.
like thing, just like walking out like this. Mm-mm, girl. Sorry. You can stop
I
at the
know, it's
Mickey
like
D's on your way over.
yeah, and so it's funny, I'm like, I'd like to see, okay, so is she making a full plate of food and then keeps going back?
Right.
Or is she just, eats 1 pack of snacks and goes back for more? I don't know.
Well,
I
is
that's
she asking or is she just going in and grabbing stuff too? Like,
right. When she opened the door, she heading right for the kitchen,
right.
and what's that? Yeah. Does she know your shopping days? Is that when she's coming over?
Right.
Oh, Kathy has shopped today. I'm going over. I don't know. We need a little bit more, follow up on this because it seems like that her friend may have some underlining problem besides being big back.
I think
Food is comfort.
well, yeah, I mean, that's definitely, as a friend, you want to work out with them. Other instances, like, some people don't want to help, and that's kind of like a road you have to cross. But my advice would be if you know Betty's coming over, then hide your food, hide your kids, hide your wife, get like a separate like refrigerator to go in your bedroom or your garage, and
Right,
like
she
put everything in
yes,
there, and then only leave like a stalk of broccoli in like the public fridge
exactly.
and be like,
Right,
oh, this is all
now
I
huh?
got. Mm,
She could put away. I mean, if she has the capability of doing that,
right.
put out what she's going to serve and keep in the refrigerator, and then put the rest, in a refrigerator if she has the capability of doing that, putting it in the garage refrigerator, or in her room or something like that. But that's a good point. True.
I mean, you shouldn't have to live that way, but
You shouldn't have to live that way. But if you need, but if, but again, food expensive. It's
hmm
high, and so, and you can't, you can barely feed yourself. You can't be feeding your friends and everything. So, um, but and if you have to do that, but then also if you can't do that, stop inviting people over,
yeah,
right? I mean,
meet somewhere
if
public, you know?
right, and if she wants to eat that much, then she has to pay for her food, right? It's the same thing. So don't invite people over. Invite your friend out. Hey, let's go out. Let's go to the movies. Let's grab some snacks from outside. And
Yeah.
then you both have to pay for it, unless she makes you pay for it. Who knows? But yeah, no, that's touchy. So
Well, thank you for that great advice, Franklin. I'm definitely going
of
to take
course,
that with me in my future
anytime.
endeavors. Uh, when Big Back Betty comes over to my house, I'm going to say, hey, let's go to the movies.
Exactly. The geese are geesing out there.
Oh, you can hear them?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Like
Yeah.
I'm like, what in the world? That's great.
Yeah, where I live, we have geese that stay here year round, and since the weather is, all of a sudden nice, they are just going crazy right now. So,
Are they still chasing the neighbors?
no, the kids, I think, yes, which they deserve it.
They do. That's great.
Well, that is all that I had for today. So,
Great. Okay, good stuff. Well, thank you very much for listening. And I appreciate all the new listeners as well, our new subscribers. Hello, hello, hello.
yes, thank you. Yeah, as always, to put it out there, please like, share, comment. I mean, the more people we can get to our words in their ears, as they say, the
Our
more
advice.
yeah, the more people we can help. This world needs a lot of help, and we're
It
here to
does.
we're here to help.
We're here to help. Always bring a cocktail with you and your own snacks.
Yeah. Don't be coming over eating my snacks. Bring your own. Uh,
All right.
well, anything else to take us out on, Miss Franklin?
No, just be safe out there, okay?
All right. Thank you, everyone, again, and bye.
Bye.